We're running the Shattered Obelisk and we're looking at Conyberry and Agatha's lair. If you remember, Sister Gariel gave you a mission. The mission is to go back to a banshee that Sister Gariel encountered to ask about a spellbook. Gariel said, take this as an offering, a silver comb, jewelled on the outside. Give this to the banshee and try and get some information about the location of a spellbook. It used to belong to a legendary mage called Bowgentle. Describe the forest growing colder as they approach. There's a domed shelter made of sticks. There's elven crafted furniture whittled out of wood. And while you're having a cheeky snoop, a sense of dread overcomes you. The banshee is here. A mote of light forms into Agatha. Players need to be respectful and polite, and a conversation will require a persuasion check of DC 15 until a comb is presented and you pass that check. If someone's rude, she will try and frighten them away with her abilities. With a success, she'll say, ask me one question and one question only, I'll give you one answer. It could be about the book, could be any question. Who's the Black Spider? Where's Wave Echo Cave? If you think she'd know the answer for having lived for ages, that's what she'll say. Now, they might try and game this, might say, let's go away, find some jewels, come back, give her an... I would say, yeah, okay, you can do that. Maybe twice, and with a high enough persuasion, maybe a third time, but I'd increase the DC and just maybe make her just not appear, 4th, 5th, you know. The players can then return back to Phandalin, let's say, see the sister and get 3 potions of healing. Success. Old Owl Well is now a ruined watchtower. The well still delivers clean water. It's a campsite now with 12 zombies, and there's a wizard in a tent. All the players will sense is the smell of death, and they should be able to see some of the undead in the ruins. Now, of course, your party might go complete fireball, but if they take any time, I would say the curtains on the tent part and a red wizard pops out. Now, red wizard of Thayer, very much looked down on. Powerful, dark magic, we're in the movie, and good players might kick off, but they shouldn't. Harmon Cost will call off his zombie troops and start a conversation. He's here for history, that's all. He's just studying who made this, what was it for. It's what order your players do these in that will affect whether the players know about the banshee or not. But if the players want to go and do that for him, the answer to who built this is Dracena. And I would suggest that if they do this for him, they will get a spell scroll that he has in his tent. Now, it does say Scroll of Darkness, but you swap that out for whatever you think. If they get in a conversation, they can come in his tent. He'll say that he saw orcs spying on him from nearby Wyvern Tor, and he's worried that they're going to get more and more curious and come and invade. Hey, if the players could sort that out for him, that would be great. Maybe you'd give them something in return out of this suspicious chest. In that chest, potion of healing, Scroll of Darkness or whatever, but he has a ring of protection. I would say surely he's wearing that ring all the time. It gives a +4 bonus to saves against things like command that tell you to drop weapons. He's less likely to drop things or become unarmed. Doesn't really work for him. I reckon that's why he doesn't have it on. It's more for someone who holds proper weapons and isn't a spellcaster. Marshals. Darren Edomath, the drow adventurer at the Orchard, he offered boots of striding and springing for information over this way. Wyvern Tor is a crag that can be seen from miles away. It used to be home to wyverns, but they got cleared out. An orc named Brugor Axebiter now has his posse here. 4 bugbears, in fact, and an ogre. Smoke billows out of the cave entrance. There's one lone sentry out there, a bugbear. I would probably roll a bugbear perception just to set a DC and have the group, if they're being quiet, do a group stealth check at that DC. So at least half, if there's 6 players, 3 people have to meet that criteria of a DC, for example, in order to remain stealthy on approach. Or they just walk straight up, attack, do what they do. It's all seeing who gets a surprise round at this point. The sentry will obviously shout his friends. Bugbears are quite savage, straightforward creatures, but the ogre, I would look at what he can do in his stats and improvise using the same damage and attack roll of a weapon he already has. Picks up a bugbear, throws it at the party doing weapon damage. Picks up a rock, rolls it down the hill at the players, slaps a player into the wall, doing the usual damage. I'm just reskinning what he does to make it cooler. If the players kill all these, there's a chest inside, and there's pretty poxy treasure in here, so refill that treasure to what you think they might like or need. Within reason. It's your decision. Cave drawings depict a goblin with a crystal sticking out of his head. And wrapping this up, Harbin Wester will pay 100 gold pieces if he finds out one way or the other that this place was cleared of its inhabitants. Harmon Cost, as I said, will give a spell scroll to find out that the orcs are taken care of. Let's look at the stats of this video's monsters. Don't forget to click the like button. Banshee then. Agatha. An armor class of 12, fairly easy to hit, right? Over 100 hit points full. Has a few resistances to non-magical things. Immune to cold, necrotic and poison. Realistically, it's the whale. This is the problem. It can only do it once a day. If you're within 30 feet of her, you make a DC 13 con save. On a failure, you are unconscious. And on a success, you take some psychic damage. That will just floor some people. And then she has a corrupting touch, which is +4, 3d6 +2 necrotic. And she can make you frightened for a minute. So you don't want to realistically fall victim to the whale if you're a player. Her speed is 40 feet, and the hope is that you give her the comb and all is well. The bugbear has a slightly larger AC, but a lower hit point max. We talked about who gets surprise on who, and bugbears can add 2d6 damage to their first attack. Now let's say their first attack is a Morning Star. That's 2d6 plus 2d8 plus 2 piercing damage. So this thing can really rock you with a crit, for example, on that surprise attack. And there's technically 5 in all and an ogre. And I would just play these as hairy thugs. Make them try and be brutal. This ogre also has over 100 hit points. Quite an easy AC of 11 to hit because it's big. With a +6 to hit, 2d8 +4 bludgeoning damage. As I say, I would reword any of the Great Club attacks with something fresh and improvised, but still do 2d8 +4 as the stat block says. Similarly, you could use the javelin's damage, but let's just try and... You could say it attacks 3 times with something in its hand, as long as it only does the requisite damage that it says in the stat block. There's nothing to say that it can't do more damage. Just that's where you get into difficulties though. I would stick, if you stick to the stat block and colour it how you wish, then no harm done. So in Lost Mine of Phandelver, the stat block for the wizard was Evil Mage. 5d8, was that like 40 health? Magic Missile, Misty Step, Shocking Grasp, Quarterstaff attack 1d8 -1. But in the Shattered Obelisk, they've changed it to 9d8, 15 AC with Mage Armour, and Fireball, Counterspell, Ice Storm and Cone of Cold, which is a massive hike up. But luckily, we're not trying to get into a fight with him. But he could Fireball those guys if they set about him, and devastating. So my post-it note for Agatha: don't be rude to Agatha. Give her the comb, otherwise it's a DC 15 Charisma save. Bo Gentle's spellbook was traded to Seanoth from Irebora 100 years ago. Old Owlwell, the mage, human Hammon Cost. He's at a watchtower where there's 12 zombies. He wants Wyvern Tor orcs to be removed, and he has a little bit of treasure in a chest. The orc, Brughaw Axebiter, who originally had 30 HP, has 6 orcs and an old ogre called Gog. If the leader is killed, the orcs flee. Now, these are bugbears for whatever reason, and as I say, things have changed. So you've got a couple of options there. There's treasure, or whatever you decide in that chat. Well, thank you for watching. I hope this helped. Don't forget, let me know.